Okay, this is a video that I'm gonna react to. Yes, I like scary stories. Look at these. Lost Hearts. That's just crazy. That's just.
Attackers. Today is a very special day of joy, gifts, and sharing time with your family.
Yes, it's December
However,
1st.
did you think we were going to leave you without today's Scary Tuesday? No way. Here, we bring you an adaptation of a chilling tale, originally written by Tamaris Lupi. The story is about a very peculiar family and the way they celebrate Christmas. So pay attention.
Gonna be
First
different
time you
people.
get to meet your girlfriend's family is an important event. One day, you might become part of our family, so you gotta give a good first impression. Be attentive, fun, and charming, but always in a natural and non-forced way. And overall, don't be nervous and make them feel like you are one of them. When I was 25 years old, I was sure that Laura was the woman of my life. She was intelligent, sweet, successful, and the most generous person I've ever met. We had been together for 2 years and everything was perfect. Her family lived very far away, so I hadn't met them in person yet. I did get to know them through video calls, but you know that it isn't the same. Christmas Eve finally came. The big day. Her family spent the holidays here, staying in Laura's spacious and modern house where we were going to have our Christmas dinner. I arrived late because of work. I was worried about that, as the night was just getting started and I was already giving off a bad impression. However, Laura's father didn't care. He received me at the door with a big smile and a warm hug. I tried to apologize for being late, but he didn't care. He simply told me that work is work, and that is that. Now that I was seeing him in person, his appearance surprised me a lot. For a middle-aged man, he looked extraordinarily young and healthy. He was tall, handsome, and in good shape. I was about to discreetly ask him about his age, but he immediately took me to the dining room to meet in person the rest of the family. They were all very delightful and showered me with compliments. Laura's mom was very happy to see me and even gave me 2 kisses on the cheek. Her appearance surprised me even more than that of her husband. She didn't look like she was older than 30, and if you compared her with Laura side by side, you would think they were sisters. And the last one to greet me, who was less effusive but still kind, was their older son. He was a handsome young man, dressed elegantly as if he was a magazine model. His hair was perfectly combed and his teeth were sparkling white. Anybody would fall for him in an instant. I started to feel a bit strange and uncomfortable. Compared to that perfect postcard family, I was feeling like a bum who was being invited to their Christmas dinner out of charity. They surely looked 1,000 times better than in the video calls. But I suppose webcams don't make anyone look especially good. While Laura was getting ready, we sat down and started chatting to get to know each other better. I started thinking about how lucky I was for finding such a good-looking and interesting family, and eventually become part of it. I don't complain about my own family, not at all. I love my parents very much. But let's say they have a different style. Half an hour passed and Laura started coming downstairs. She looked gorgeous, more beautiful than ever. She looked like an angel coming down the stairs. This was all perfect, like a dream. Without thinking about it, I took a small box I had in my pocket and decided to go forward with the biggest step I had been thinking about taking for a while now. I knelt in front of her, showed her a ring in the box, and proposed to her in front of her family, who smiled out of surprise and excitement. Tears of joy escaped from her eyes, and she hugged me strongly. Her parents and brother also came closer to hug us and congratulate us. This was the perfect Christmas with the perfect family. Dinner time finally came, and we sat around the carefully set table. I preferred not to eat many appetizers, eagerly awaiting for the main dish. I was so hungry that when I saw Laura's dad and brother carrying out of the kitchen a huge tray covered with a metal cover, my mouth started watering. What was under there? I didn't ask and waited for them to take the cover off. For a few moments, I wasn't sure about which animal's roasted meat was in the tray, which looked
What
pretty
the
good along with a fine
is
garnish. Then, I took a closer look at the shape of the cut off
What the
limbs, and
heck?
I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. It can't be. It must be my imagination. But it looked like a finely cooked human body. The eyes of the rest of the family were shining, and they congratulated Laura and her mother for being such good cooks. I could hardly speak, but I managed to say,
The
But-
fudge?
"But is this?" Laura confirmed what I was suspecting, as if it were the most natural and normal thing in the world. They even started talking about how to prepare it, which spices to use, and the oven's temperature, while they served pieces of legs, thorax, and arms. I discreetly looked at the head, and I could notice it belonged to a young teen. But the most terrifying part was not seeing them eat a roasted human. It was the strange sensation that with each bite they had, their skin seemed to become shinier, and their aura of elegance increased. Laura's father gave me a pat on the back, encouraging me to eat. "Come on, boy. You can't be eternally young and handsome without, a little sacrifice. And it's only once a year."
What
He told me while he
what?
gave a bite to what looked like a humorous. The situation seemed so natural, and their explanations were so convincing that I started to reconsider. Laura took my hand, looked at me in the eyes, and with the sweetest of smiles asked me, "Do you actually love me? Don't you want to be like us and spend the rest of your life with me?" I didn't answer. I served a piece of leg on my plate and stuffed it with my fork. I closed my eyes, opened my mouth, and determined to take the next step.
Oh my
I
gosh,
said,
that's
"I do."
disgusting.
Not only does Arco gas cost less, it's for
You see, this YouTuber is a great person for drawing stuff with markers. Okay, bye guys.